The wife hopes police catch the man who shot her husband 10 times. And here are newly released pictures of the two suspects College Park police are looking for, Marquise Cree and Fernando Benefield. Detectives believe the men were trying to settle a score when they opened fire at this apartment complex. Timothy Carthen, a father of two, died October 4th.
They're hurt. I mean, you took a good person from, you know what I'm saying, from us. They took a real good person. He was a family man. He didn't hang out in the streets.
And call Crime Stoppers if you know anything about this shooting at 404-577-TIPS. Once again, 404-577-8477.
Rowe is still in jail right now, waiting to be transferred to Fulton County on several drug charges. We're not just talking about a small amount of marijuana here. College Park police say when they arrested Officer Rowe, along with two other men inside an apartment, there were 7 pounds of marijuana worth thousands of dollars, along with prescription pills all over the place, cash and guns. The police chief tells me investigators had been running surveillance on the apartment on Godby Road for a while now in College Park. They decided it was time to bust in yesterday afternoon, and that's when they found the three suspects along with several APD uniforms and police equipment. They figured out Rowe was the police officer and had been dating one of the other two suspects. Investigators haven't said exactly what her involvement with this illegal drug operation was, if any, but she's still charged with intent to distribute. APD officials have been notified about this. We've received this statement from them this afternoon saying Officer Rowe has been suspended. It says, quote, she will be scheduled to appear before Chief Erica Shields this week, who will determine her permanent employment status as a result of this incident. Rowe joined the department in 2016 and was working as a police officer in Southeast Atlanta. And Vinny, she graduated from Georgia State, and this was her first law enforcement job.
One step closer to closure for family and friends of a teenage entrepreneur. Less than 24 hours ago, Clayton County Police naming a suspect in the shooting death of the teen killed at the barber shop in College Park back in April. 11 Alive's Dawn White spent the day at the barber shop and has reaction from his co-workers.
It's been more than 3 months since 17-year-old Anthony McLean lost his life here at this barber shop he owned with his mother. This candle still burns outside as his co-workers say his light will never be forgotten.
Everything is different. The energy is different.
What's different is this empty chair. A chair once buzzing with business, now filled with a memorial.
I may walk over to the chair and feel a particular energy that might prompt the thought, about the family, about the duties that I used to do here.
Dartigan Haddon used to have deep life conversations with the young man who had two businesses at just 17 years old.
For 3 months, I'm grieved myself.
His grief now filled with some relief.
I was definitely glad to see that they haven't forgot about the case and that they have put some time and some effort into it.
That effort led Clayton County Police to name a suspect, this man, 20-year-old Jumani Watkins Causey, in the April 2nd shooting death of Anthony McLean. He's wanted for felony murder and aggravated assault.
I hope that there'll be some closure, for the family, because their grievance that they're having, I haven't seen anybody hurt so much.
McLean's empty chair serves as a reminder of his untimely death. A promising life cut short by gun violence. As the barbers who work next to his empty seat continue to pray for justice.
We're doing our best to hold everything together and continue in his memory.
Anyone who knows where the suspect may be is asked to contact Clayton County Police. In Clayton County, I'm Dawn White.
Clayton County, where police are working to learn what led up to a shooting that killed a teenager outside of a barber shop. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us on News Edge at 11. I'm Eric Perry. Alex Whitler has the night off. Witnesses tell Fox 5 the victim wasn't the intended target, but was simply caught in the crossfire. News Edge reporter Rob DiRienzo is live tonight with the latest. Rob, I know you spoke with someone who knew that victim tonight.
I did, Eric. Really, within the last hour, I've just learned so much. The victim's cousin told me that the teenager was actually a licensed barber and a partial owner of this barber shop. Now, we're hearing that he was all an innocent bystander when the shots rang out. It left him dead. Now, I want to take you to what the scene was looking like earlier. We first got word of this right around 6:30 this evening. The shots were fired in the barber's lab here in the River Station Shopping Plaza. Our cameras captured investigators inside looking for evidence. A barber I spoke to who witnessed the whole thing did not want to go on camera, but here's what he and other witnesses say happened. Two people started exchanging words inside the shop. Moments later, it spilled out into the parking lot. A gun came out and shots were fired. I spoke to the victim's cousin, who identified him as Anthony McLean. She says he was a licensed barber and so determined at such a young age. Here's her account of it all.
An altercation between two different people happened, and he was standing out here, just standing outside the shop. Anthony was a great kid. He was homeschooled. He went to early college. He went to barber school. This is his barber shop, family owned, and he owned the barber shop, and he was just a young, motivated kid.
And back out here live, believe it or not, there's actually a photo of him as a child getting his haircut right on the front. That's him as a boy. Again, he went to become a partial owner of this shop and a licensed barber at such a young age. Now, at last check, police haven't released any more information on whether or not they have any suspects or persons of interest.
A man was found shot today in the parking lot of an apartment complex on Garden Walk Boulevard in College Park. Clayton County Police have not released his name, but say a Good Samaritan who spotted the body called 911. They tried to give him CPR, but it was too late.
Clayton County, where police are investigating the shooting death of a teen. It happened last night at the Gardenwood Apartments.
Officers say when they arrived on the scene, they found the 15-year-old dead with multiple gunshot wounds. Fox 5's Portia Bruner joins us live from Clayton County tonight. Portia?
Yeah, and this is really just kind of hard to wrap your mind around when you think about a 15-year-old boy dying essentially the first day of summer. This is supposed to be summer vacation. This family's not supposed to be planning a funeral. We've also learned, though, that this 15-year-old Terrence Denson was an honor student, well-liked, popular kid who lived in Atlanta. And detectives say they are determined to figure out who killed him and why. Heartbroken loved ones say the teenager who was shot and killed at this apartment complex Tuesday night was 15-year-old Terrence Denson. Loved ones say he was enrolled at Midtown High School in Atlanta and was visiting the complex near College Park when he was shot by a gunman who remains on the run. The 911 calls came around 11:30 Tuesday night when Clayton County Police arrived at the complex on Gardenwood Court. Terrence had already succumbed to his injuries. Wednesday, a police major told Fox 5 his detectives have spoken to witnesses and have been following leads overnight and throughout the day. He says the investigation will not end until they get the answers they need to make an arrest. And that police major telling me he's hoping some of those answers will come from folks who know what happened or may have been in that area in the minutes before that shooting. Again, police saying they have spoken to witnesses, but still hoping someone from the public will come forward and help them figure out who killed this honor student from Atlanta. They say all resources, all hands are on deck. Reporting live at Clayton County Police Headquarters, Portia Bruner, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, let's hope they get some answers. Portia, thanks.
It was before sunrise when Clayton County Police responded to the Gateway at Hartsfield Apartments. A man had been shot. Neighbors didn't want to go on camera, but from what I've gathered off camera at the scene, the victim was a contractor, a painter, who routinely arrived early to beat the traffic coming from his home in Gwinnett County. When he arrived at the apartments on Garden Walk Boulevard Tuesday morning, it appears someone targeted him, possibly to rob him. There were gunshots. Later, a resident discovered the man's body in the parking lot. He tried to perform CPR on him, but it was too late. The man had been shot several times. It appeared he had tried to run from the shooter. It's unclear if any of the victim's belongings were missing. At least one investigator from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's medical examiner's office was on the scene. I'm learning the GBI will perform the autopsy as Clayton County Police try to figure out who killed the man and why. Reporting near College Park, Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
5, a College Park officer says he chose a suspect's life over his own when he tried to stop a teen in a car believed to be stolen. The officer was run over but is now out of the hospital. 11 Alive's Latasha Gibbons spoke to a police supervisor about that decision not to use lethal force in the case.
And we learned this afternoon, Officer Ivory Morris underwent a successful surgery and is now home recovering. We also learned that police say the teen suspects may have been casing out a hotel parking lot trying to find cars to steal when Officer Morris tried to stop them.
He looked in his eyes and the suspect looked into his eyes and fled. And still, it happened so quickly, his mindset was, I don't want to take this child away.
That moment coming after College Park police say Officer Ivory Morris spotted a stolen car early Saturday morning that had shown up in the city's flock camera system. Police say as Officer Morris tried to stop the car spotted on Southport Drive, it sped towards him. Behind the wheel was a teen.
Investigator Morris actually had every right to use of force. And Investigator Morris just expressed that he didn't want to take anyone's child away from them.
The car hit Officer Morris and another teen suspect as the car sped towards them. Both were taken to the hospital. Morris was just released after undergoing major surgery. His police supervisor says even as the teen driver was threatening Morris's life, he was focused on not using lethal force.
A mother is still with her son. Investigator Morris is still alive. And I know that everyone can say what they would have done or should have done, but I think that Investigator Morris did what he felt he needed to do.
And police tell us they have leads on that other teen suspect, but he is not yet in custody.
32 years old transgender woman was shot several times and killed in a parking lot of the Metro Atlanta apartment complex early Monday, which means today. The former bartender and native of Hamel, LA, was shot several times as she was discovered near her vehicle in the parking lot of South Hampton Estates in College Park. Her body was found Monday about 4:30 a.m. The police told Georgia Voice, Major Lance Patterson told Georgia Voice that College Park Fire Rescue took TT to Grady's Memorial Hospital where she succumbed to her injuries, and Patterson said that her family had been notified and there were no suspect at this time, according to Patterson. The detectives are out there right now following up on leads, anything they can find to come in, and instead that TT is at least the 16th trans person that has been killed in the U.S. as far as 2017, according to HRSC. Her death has come 2 days after Midtown rally in March in support of transgenders in Atlanta. And in June, Aleve LeRae Barron, a transgender woman teen, was killed in Atlanta, was shot and killed in a parking lot in 8th apartment complex. Her alleged killer was also trans, shot her during an argument. In February, LGBT Atlanta memorized China Gibson and helped raise funds for the family. As far as a popular transgender performer, Gibson, 31 years old, murdered on February 25th as she celebrated Mardi Gras in her hometown in New Orleans. Gibson also was known as China Doll Dupree, performing drag shows and pageants in Atlanta and all across the country. She lived in California, but had returned to New Orleans as far as the Mardi Gras. In March, some of 200 LGBT people and supporters marched through Midtown to protest violence against trans people. In August 2015, activists rallied outside of the Martha Station as far downtown Atlanta to call attention to anti-trans violence. In February 2016, Livian Moret, 20-year-old trans woman of South Georgia, was brutally beaten, sexually assaulted, and hospitalized by 3 men who attacked her as she met a friend for dinner. As you see, there's a lot going on. It's a lot. And trans people really understand what's happening here. And it makes us feel uneasy. You know? But we're all born here for a reason. God made you different for a reason. And you're here for a purpose. And no matter how much
New at 6, College Park police are searching for a killer tonight.
Well, they say someone opened fire in Godby Road apartment complex and shot and killed Zarek Kolke. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor talked today with Kolke's family members who say they need closure. Angelique?
The Coakley family is having a really hard time with this, primarily because they say Zarek was a peacemaker, the kind who never headed towards trouble. Tonight, they say their prayer is that the person responsible will come forward.
I tried to call his phone after no answer, kept calling, no answer.
Zarek Coakley's mother says her son not answering his telephone was a bad omen. She and her daughters are at a loss for words. They want to know who would kill the soft-spoken gentleman who was known as a conciliator, who never looked for trouble. Detectives say the 23-year-old was shot and killed Thursday at the Southampton Estates Apartments on Godby Road.
He was so sweet. He was very humble. He always was the peacemaker.
Police say the shooters were riding in a small, dark sedan. Officers don't know what precipitated the shooting, but the family says Zarek was with his cousin and did not have a weapon.
But I heard they were shooting, and he was running, and they were saying they heard the gunshots, and then that was it.
Tonight, as they plan to bury a loved one gone too soon, Zarek's mother has one wish she prays will come true.
I just want whoever did it, if it was an accident, just to admit that they did it and just say it was an accident instead of just holding back. You know, we just want closure. We just want to know what really, really, really happened to him.
Now, College Park police tell me tonight there were witnesses to this shooting. They are asking anyone with information to please come forward. We are live in College Park. Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Who in the face? That is the question College Park police are trying to answer tonight. Police say someone fired at 25-year-old Jazzy Kirkendall, and after days in the hospital, she passed away. Her brother is in jail facing charges, but police say they're investigating more people in the ordeal. Well, Fox 5's Jacqueline Schultz is live outside College Park Police headquarters tonight. And Jacqueline, you spoke to the victim's mother. She's simply heartbroken.
Well, the mother used one word to describe what she's going through. She says she is, quote, destroyed. And she tells me even though her two children got in a fight the night that Jazzy Kirkendall was shot, she says her own son would never shoot his sister. And in fact, College Park police are still investigating other people in this ordeal.
It is like losing two children. I have one that's in jail, and I have one that's I'm about to bury.
Mother Lisa Crawford says she's beyond devastated. Someone shot and killed her 25-year-old daughter, Jazzy Kirkendall, who she calls a loving mother of two. And what tears this mother apart even more, College Park police say her other son, caused injuries that led to Jazzy's death.
I'm destroyed because I'm not supposed to be burying my child. My child is supposed to be burying me.
Ms. Crawford says she doesn't believe her own son, 22-year-old Marquavius Kirkendall, would shoot and kill his own sister, and says the two did love each other. In fact, police are not saying who they believe actually pulled the trigger on the night of February 8th at Jazzy's apartment at the Old Town Villa. Ms. Crawford tells Fox 5 a number of people were over at the home when Jazzy and Marquavius got in a fight. After a gunshot rang out and police say Jazzy was hit in the area of her head and her face, Ms. Crawford says brother Marquavius stayed by his sister's side. She was rushed to the hospital, and after 2 weeks, she died on Wednesday.
They can still come forward and tell what happened.
Jazzy's other siblings and relatives hope police can help find everyone responsible for her death. She leaves behind a 3-year-old son and 4-year-old daughter.
Where's Mommy?
She was gone. Again, College Park police are still searching for other people in this case. Marquavius Kirkendall is facing battery charges right now and other weapons charges. No one at this point is facing murder charges, and the family is working to raise money for Jazzy Kirkendall's funeral, and we have the information on the GoFundMe page on our website, fox5atlanta.com. For now, reporting live in College Park, Jacqueline Schultz, Fox 5 News.
Tonight, a young father gunned down at a College Park convenience store. Well, now 2 children will be forced to grow up without a dad. Tonight, police are searching for 2 killers. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us from the Godby Road convenience store where this murder happened. And Angelique, the family just devastated.
This family is at a real loss. They say Antonius was a calm spirit who wouldn't harm a soul. Now take a look behind me. You can see the police tape that is still blowing in the wind here right in front of the parking lot where he took his last breath. Antonius Robinson's aunt started a memorial for the young father of 2 right in front of the Godby Road convenience store where he was shot and killed in broad daylight Saturday evening. The motive is still unclear. Police say 2 suspects were involved. His mother is in disbelief.
I just couldn't believe it, and a mother don't expect something like that to happen, or you don't want to get that type of news, and I'm still in shock.
Antonius Robinson grew up in College Park. His mother says he was mild-mannered, a family man, especially when it came to his 2 kids. Amina just graduated from kindergarten, and Princeton was just 1 year old.
He believed in, family value, doing things with his kids, and he just was over for Mother's Day and actually gave me this necklace right here. You just don't know, what to tell the kids, and, it's hard, and they're babies.
College Park police say surveillance video from the store is their best lead right now.
Our investigators are working on a bolo at this time. Hopefully, from the information that they may have received from the store owner.
Meanwhile, Ms. Robinson says she will not rest until she gets answers.
For somebody to just take my son away from me, I don't understand, when is the violence going to end? And I just don't understand. I want these perpetrators to be caught, and I want justice.
Hey, stop! College Park police, stop! Stop! Come down, bro. Come down. Calm down, bro. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Faster. Faster. Lay on the ground. Lay on the ground. Lay on the ground. Lay on the ground, bro. You got me, man. One at a time. Come down. Come down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Tired as hell. I'm gonna take him up. Tired as hell. Let me get your arm. Let me get your arm. The one's in the handcuff. Oh, okay. We're gonna turn him over. Turn to the side. Go, 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 go. Good work, Charlie. Good work. Good work. Turn him up. Hey, we're gonna stand you up, bro.
This murder suspect recaptured hours after getting away near the Atlanta airport. Our Sabrina Silva is live with more on how deputies found him. Sabrina.
Yeah, good morning, Rob. What a wild couple of hours, but police have finally been able to catch Hassan Carlos Strover, and he was found handcuffs and all and is now waking up here at the Fulton County Jail. 20-year-old Hassan Carlos Strover finally back in police custody. The murder suspect escaped from Arizona deputies in a rental car lot near Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. All of this happening early Thursday morning.
He actually pushed past the Maricopa County deputies and escaped down a set of steps across this very street into the wood line.
In a series of tweets, Fulton County Sheriff's Office says he was caught by a civilian who saw his description, saying, quote, "Tonight, College Park police received a tip of a man fitting Strover's description, seen walking down the street barefoot with his hands behind his back. A patrol unit spotted the fugitive and he ran into the woods. Police used night vision technology to locate the 20-year-old. Strover is being charged for a murder that happened in February of a 32-year-old in Phoenix. Police tracked him to Sandy Springs, where they arrested him earlier this month. Before escaping, Strover was being transported back to Arizona. Now, authorities tell us that Strover may be facing other charges related to this escape. He could be seen in court later on today at 11:30 in the morning. But for now, reporting live in Fulton County, I'm Sabrina Silva, CBS 46.
Tonight, a police department is remembering the life and legacy of one of its own. Former College Park Police Chief Walter Tommy Sheets died on Tuesday. Sheets joined the department in 1970, worked his way all the way to police chief in 1987. He retired in 1996. The department says Sheets was also a veteran serving during the Vietnam War.
We have learned that the 3 officers involved in that chase had just completed vehicle pursuit training within the past 3 months. And we got pictures of 2 of the officers. Channel 2's Liz Arts begins our live Team 2 coverage of the College Park Police Department, where those officers are on customary paid administrative leave tonight.
Pending the outcome of the investigation, we obtained their records from posts. None of the officers have been investigated in the past or sanctioned, and one of the officers was a 13-year veteran here at this department. Sources have confirmed Lieutenant Nick Duffy, seen here in a picture from his Facebook page. Sergeant Joshua Emery and Officer Casey Smith are all on paid administrative leave from the College Park Police Department pending the outcome of an investigation by the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. The officers were involved in a police pursuit Sunday that led to the death of a 75-year-old grandmother and her 2 grandchildren.
Just pray for the family. That's all you can do.
We obtained the officers' records from the Peace Officer Standards and Training Council, or POST, that showed each officer had an hour of vehicle pursuit training within the past 3 months. But it's unclear if the officers followed the department's policy that allows chase if there is a forcible felony.
What we don't know is if the vehicle was taken during a carjacking, whether it was taken by force.
2 of the officers were pursuing this black SUV after it was stolen earlier from the Westin Hotel. Chief Keith Meadows confirmed there is dash cam video that has been turned over to the State Patrol and DA's office.
You can't go into a pursuit with blind abandonment. Cars go a lot quicker today.
and people don't want to stop and acquiesce to the police like they used to.
Frank Rotondo from the Georgia Association of Chiefs told me Monday more funding needs to be allocated to pursuit training.
You have to respect the fact that people are doing something wrong, so police can't say every time somebody's doing something wrong, we'll let you go.
It's a forcible felony if it's taken during the threat of violence or taken with force. If someone just hops in your car and drives off, that doesn't necessarily constitute forcible felony. That will be up to the DA to decide. They said that it could take 45 days to investigate this. Within the past hour, I received an email from a source here stating on Sunday that an email went out to all staff saying that until they review their policy, they are suspending all chases with the exception of forcible felonies. That email went out to all staff on Sunday. Live in South Fulton County in College Park, Liz Arts, Channel 12.
A police officer is recovering from a gunshot wound after pursuing a suspected murderer. Early this morning, the officer was involved in a chase with a man. Now, the officer was shot in the neck, but is expected to recover. The suspect also had non-life-threatening injuries. This was the 28th officer-involved shooting in Georgia so far this year.
Sting operation to end a dangerous crime spree. Police say they've busted the ringleader of a dangerous gang that's breaking into cars to steal guns.
Yeah, it's been happening all over Metro Atlanta, and tonight police say they're on their way to taking that crew down. Fox 5's Jacqueline Schultz is live in College Park with our top story tonight. Jacqueline?
Well, police say this crew could easily go to several parking lots in a day and hit up dozens of cars. They would go after, of course, the purses and electronics in the car, but most certainly they were looking into cars for guns.
They were trying to get in, they weren't able to get in.
Car thieves do more than damage your vehicle. It made mom, Crystal Penton, more afraid for her safety.
It just really had me on edge. Like, I was like, what would have happened if I did, decide to go out when I heard the alarm going off? What would have happened to me?
Their job every day is to get up, eat breakfast, I'm assuming, and go out and breaking people's cars and steal their cars.
College Park police say they're taking down a dangerous gang that could be linked to thousands of car break-ins across College Park, parts of Atlanta, Fulton County, and Clayton County after purses, electronics, and especially guns, stealing cars from as far as DeKalb to commit their crimes. Police announced they busted 5 in the gang, and with the help of East Point police, Tuesday took down the ringleader, identified as 23-year-old Dante Bell. Police say he had 40 warrants and has threatened officers on social media. Tuesday, East Point police say he was spotted breaking into cars at the Target off Camp Creek Marketplace and fired a shot.
Numerous residences, hotels, businesses, schools, you name it, they have hit everywhere in our jurisdiction and others.
College Park investigators say this was a major bust and a crew not afraid to target dozens of cars per day. On January 26, officers say the gang targeted several parking lots on one day, from the Georgia Department of Public Health to Woodward Academy.
It makes me feel better. It does.
And College Park police say they're still looking to make some more arrests. Coming up on News Edge at 11, police do say that guns left in cars are certainly a really big problem in the metro. What's a telltale sign to a car thief that there may be a gun sitting in your car? But for now, reporting live in College Park, Jacqueline Schultz, Fox 5 News.
All right, Jacqueline, we'll see you.
A dozen former City of College Park employees have something in common, and it's not good.
Yeah, police say all of them are identity theft victims in a criminal case worth nearly 100,000 taxpayer dollars. And as Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis reports, the suspect is someone they all knew.
When I heard the news, my heart sank.
Mayor Bianca Motley Broom was stunned. The city manager, heartbroken.
You took it personally?
I did. I was hurt.
LaShonda Mitchell, city human resources specialist, now accused identity thief. You have anything you want to say to those 11 former employees, your former co-workers? The scam, according to police, stretched back to July 2018. They say Mitchell would use the names of people who had recently resigned from the city and cook the books so it looked like they were still on the payroll. But instead of making payroll deposits into their previous bank accounts, she would send the money to 3 different green dot bank accounts she controlled. Total amount allegedly pocketed, $94,000.
So how did it all unravel?
Well, according to police reports, someone called here to verify that a former College Park employee used to work here. But when HR ran the name, they discovered that former employee was somehow still on the payroll, even though they had resigned more than a year ago. That employee, says Trent Davis, was him. He was trying to get a mortgage.
After I got wind of what was going on, I noticed that my credit report shows that I had 2 places of employment.
A former College Park police officer, Davis left the city in 2020. Yet, according to police, a week later, Mitchell arranged to deposit $36,768 into one of those green dot accounts in Davis's name, an account only she could access. The person who's accused of stealing your identity is someone you knew.
Very unnerving, because you would expect that, especially that person in that position, has your best interest at heart.
It's not just the employees that may have suffered a harm. It's the families, because there are a lot of personal information involved in those files.
He may sue the city of College Park. Mitchell resigned last month, a few weeks before her arrest on 32 felony counts of identity theft, computer forgery, and money laundering. For years, she had been the only one handling payroll for the city of College Park. It sounds like, if this is true, that she was able to do this without anybody kind of looking over her shoulder. That doesn't sound like the right way to run an HR department.
I can't speak on how it was ran in the past. I know that currently the HR department is run with a check and balance, and we're moving in the right direction.
Miller became interim city manager this year. The mayor took office in 2020. They're seeking bids now to conduct a forensic audit. Are you convinced that that's the extent of the money that was allegedly stolen?
I don't know. It's troubling. It's troubling for everyone.
More troubling, though, for the people who are discovering their identities are no longer exclusively theirs to control. In College Park, Randy Travis, Fox 5 News.
Car right in front of the owner's home. The whole thing caught on the College Park home surveillance camera. Watch as the thief casually walks down the street and then spots a running car, cautiously walks over, hops in, and takes off. According to the homeowner, the car is a gray two-door BMW with red interior. It has a New Jersey license plate, E84DP.
Sad news this morning. A man hit and killed overnight while riding his bike. It happened in College Park on Roosevelt Highway. Police say the man was riding his bike when someone hit and killed him. That driver didn't stop, and now police are looking to identify both the driver and the cyclist.
A teen shot down while selling water on the street. The violence renewing calls to eliminate the infamous Atlanta water boys. Some say their hustle is harmless. Others argue the water boys are creating water wars. CBS 46's Zach Summers live tonight near the scene at the I-285 exit ramp at Old National Highway in College Park. And Zach, tonight the injured teen is in the hospital.
Yeah, that's right, Rick. You know, the Water Boys don't have the best reputation in the past. They've been accused of being overly aggressive, but those familiar with the teen shot here just behind me earlier today say he's not like that. They say he's a good kid.
It hurts me. When Ronnie Savoy heard there was a shooting involving the so-called Water Boys Thursday afternoon in College Park, he prayed it wasn't the young man he often encounters. He's very respectful. You know, he's not one of those that run up on your car. If you told him, no, I ain't got nothing, he backed away.
Police say 4 teens were selling water near 285 and Old National Highway when 2 guys in a white 4-door sedan approached them, pulled out guns, and started shooting. The teen, Savoy knows, was shot 4 times, twice in his hands and twice in the legs.
My God.
Brenda Pickney lives in College Park. The 72-year-old does not condone the violence, but she also doesn't believe teens should be selling drinks off the side of the road.
I realize these kids are trying to make money. Well, how can we do something different to help them make money other than standing in a dangerous area like this and going up people's cars?
Atlanta Police Chief Rodney Bryant on the issue.
It's both trying to educate and support on the front end and give them the resources needed. At the same time, asking them to get off of that corner.
This is getting out of hand.
To Atlanta's youth, Savoy offered this message.
Just stay safe and stay prayed up, man, because the devil is working.
Now, the other 3 teens, they were not hurt. College Park police still working to identify the suspects. If you know anything or saw anything, call the department or Crime Stoppers. Live in Fulton County, Zach Summers, CBS 46 News.
Loud boom when a van crashed into the side of a fast food restaurant, and the blow caused part of the building to crumble. Channel 2's Darren Moore is live on Old National Highway in College Park. So, Darren, that restaurant plans to stay closed for now, at least.
Yeah, until further notice, you could say. But the driver just missed crashing right through these front doors. Now, management said they'll actually keep the restaurant closed until engineers can inspect the damage. But one employee actually described the impact. It had boom! Part of the Taco Bell on Old National Highway looks like it's about to crumble and fall. Late last night, College Park police said the driver of this white van went backwards instead of forward. Several employees were inside the restaurant when the van jumped the curb and smashed into the building.
We just heard a big thud, and we thought it was someone trying to break into the building.
The dine-in part of the restaurant closed 5 minutes before the crash. The employees were working the drive-through window when the van nearly drove through the store.
It like shattered the whole building, like really. I was like, it was like booming. I thought that someone was. It sounded like a big window had broken. That's what it sounded like a big window, like thunder or whatever like that.
For now, the dining room will stay closed until further notice. And police say no one was hurt, and they have yet to decide whether to charge the driver with any traffic charges.
The development in the name of the man shot and killed by Clayton County Sheriff's deputies overnight, and are learning more about what led up to the shooting. 11 Alive's Brittany Klein-Peter is live outside the apartment complex where police say this all happened. And Brittany, tell us, what do we know about the victim right now?
Police tell us that Tory Brown was killed at this apartment complex in College Park. His family says that he was gunned down just outside of his girlfriend's home. Now take a look at this photo. We've got this from the family. This is 22-year-old Tory Brown. The GBI says deputies with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office were trying to serve an arrest warrant on Brown for violation of probation. They say deputies arrived at the Chelsea Gardens apartment complex just before 10 p.m. and that's when the GBI says law enforcement asked Brown to come out to the apartment. When he didn't, they went in, and at some point he came at police and he was shot. His family, though, says that they don't believe he would do that.
But I know when they told him to come out, I know he came out. And that's the type of time, I think they shot him right there. Only thing we heard was 1, 2, 3 shots. And that's all she wrote.
He a good kid, you know. All kids get in trouble, you know. He just a good kid. He got a good personality. He get along with anybody. He make them laugh.
The GBI says no officers were injured. They are still investigating. They tell me that this is the 65th officer-involved shooting that they've investigated just this year.
College Park businesses are picking up the pieces this evening, literally, after a man vandalized them over the weekend. Hattie Marie's BBQ, a black-owned business with around 500,000 Instagram followers, isn't letting the destruction stop them. 11 Alive's Don White is live outside the restaurant this evening. And Don, what's the damage looking like out there right now?
Well, Jennifer, the security video shows a suspect picking a chair. He tried to throw it through this window here. When it didn't work, he walked down here, he picked up that chair, and he slammed it through this window, which is now covered up with wood.
College Park's Main Street is normally serene and quiet. But the owners at Hattie Marie's Barbecue aren't sweeping dirt, but glass.
We got a picture, and then we ran up here.
Owners Willie and Ramona Griggy arrived to find the front window almost completely gone.
This was shattered, like, it's just very heartbreaking. It's like, wow, you know, like, why us? What happened?
The Griggys then saw what happened on their security camera.
He literally just walked all the way down and through a brick through Virgil's, came through here. Next door, he grabbed a yellow chair, and you can see him in the video. He's hitting on that window, so that's where the yellow streaking is.
Then moments later, the man is seen in the footage throwing the chair through another window.
It's so scary to know that somebody was that mad that they wanted to destroy our property.
College Park police arrested the 35-year-old suspect.
We were figuring out why we still have glass everywhere.
The Griggys are still finding glass inside. The dining room sits empty.
And we have to feed people. I mean, make people happy.
But they're not letting it stop them.
She owned Pie Face Bakery back in Port Arthur, Texas.
Willie Griggy is Hattie Marie's son.
She taught me how to cook. She taught me, how to exhibit love through cooking. So that's something that I wanted to bring to the area.
And something else she'd want him to bring to the area, resilience.
We're just going to try to make something here, make something like good and positive.
A horrific crash in South Fulton County claims at least one life.
According to neighbors, it happened around 4:30 this afternoon on Janus Drive in College Park. Fox 5's Claire Sims is live for us in College Park tonight. And Claire, we understand the driver may have been running from police at the time.
Yeah, Tom, we're told an East Point police officer tried to pull that driver over, but instead he sped off and crashed just a short time later.
We're all in shock. I mean, she and I were both in shock.
Chloe Lebrant says it happened in an instant. She and her granddaughter were in the front yard of her home on Janus Drive in College Park when this black sedan came flying down the hill.
I was sitting right here, and my granddaughter's playing right there in the yard under the crepe myrtle, and that car came just speeding down the hill. I thought it was going to roll into the front yard, and I screamed for her. She's only 4 years old, and it crashed into the trees. It's very unfortunate.
Gnarled metal and shattered glass, evidence of the force of the impact. Lebrant says an East Point police officer pulled up moments after the crash. The car burst into flames, and the officer tried to rescue the two people from inside, but the doors were jammed. Sources tell us an East Point police officer tried to pull over the car, but the driver refused, speeding off. East Point police stressed that their officers did not pursue the car. No matter what led up to the crash, Lebrant says the two people inside the car appeared to be just teenagers, and her thoughts are with their families.
And they were very young. And, I feel sorry for their parents, and especially at this time.
My boyfriend watched as his pregnant girlfriend was hit by a car and sent flying through the air. And now they want the driver of that car to come forward. 20-year-old Angelica Green was crossing Old National Highway in College Park when it happened.
Yeah, she is still in the hospital tonight. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor just spoke with Green in her hospital room. And Angelique, how's she doing?
Well, she is in a lot of pain, but she says God spared her life, and although both of her legs are broken and she's going to have to learn to walk again, she says she has a whole lot to celebrate.
Just take responsibility for what you did, because, it's wrong. You just can't hit somebody and leave them out there on the street and then go about your day.
Angelica Green talks through her intense pain. College Park police say a driver left the 20-year-old for dead last Wednesday when she was struck on Old National Highway and Godby Road. Police gave us video of the actual hit and run. You can see Angelica and her boyfriend Trey Ellaby walking in the crosswalk when the driver does the unthinkable and hits her.
It just hurts. It hurts the fact that I was even left out there and he didn't have a hesitation to look back.
Ellaby was 2 steps ahead of Angelica and watched the whole thing.
Is the car really speeding up to try to hit us? And by the time I can say, baby, come on, it just happened so fast. Everything just happened so fast. My main focus just went to her. I was just, because she wasn't responsive at first, so I thought the worst, so I just ran over there.
College Park police are looking for the hit-and-run driver who was in a gray Toyota Scion XB. Angelica has a broken hip, 2 broken legs, and a nasty head injury. But since she's been at Grady Hospital, she's discovered a huge blessing.
When I woke up from everything, my boyfriend let me know that I'm pregnant, and I'm about 2 weeks pregnant right now, and nothing happened to the baby, so it's just, a blessing from God that I'm still here and I'm able to still give life.
Arrests one of its most wanted fugitives in Metro Atlanta. The agency calls Antoine Mims a violent gang member. He's accused of shooting and killing 2 men right in front of 100 people at a house party in Michigan back in March. Agents say Mims believed the men had wronged his gang in a drug deal. FBI agents arrested Mims yesterday at a home in College Park. He now faces charges of first-degree premeditated murder, possession of a firearm by a felon, and 2 felony weapons counts.
say. How did he end up in there?